for Marguerite and Susan, just to let you guys know who's in the room. It's hot out in here. There's a lot of cool people in the room. Sorry you couldn't be with us today. But Sasha's here, Courtney's here, Grace, Lisa, Jack, Adriana, Ginger, Jane, and Caroline. And here we all are. And there's the cookies in the chocolate. I also have apples for cheese. That is great. Balance out.
So healthy.
The packing materials have the agenda as you saw it in the email, minus a few topics are relevant for this as well. Barbara wasn't going to be here, and then when Marguerite was unable to attend in person, we decided to fund the outreach planning discussion formally until another meeting. And discuss those topics, but I didn't want to have Marguerite sign up for that with Barbara not here. So we're quickly move through some stuff, and included in the packet is the current roster for everyone's awareness. And we're at 12 people, so we needed 7. We needed 7 in person. One. How about that? Okay.
Not about.
We have 3 sets of minutes we're going to try and approve in a box and not in arrears. We got 2 weeks all behind last year. My fault. And I ended up trying to compile minutes 6 months after the fact of memory and all the night. So hold up my end of the ball game with Courtney, and I don't want to get, we're going to try and stay on top of the minutes. And then we're going to walk through some key dates as we know them for 26. Revisit our roles and responsibilities and our organizational structures for the committees and things. That's also in your packet, last year's assignments. I'm going to talk about sexual violence. At our last meeting, we decided we'd take a little bit deeper dive on that. And in true Caroline fashion, I started taking way deep dives and went down rabbit holes over the past 2 days. And late until last night, but I'm excited to share that that's what I found. We'll talk about Take Back the Night. I put together an event proposal using the event proposal document format as a way, one, to help us understand what we want from that document, and then also the template. And then we'll wrap up with any items that the committee wants to use our time for about with revision planning and whatnot to get us all in line there. We can also talk about anything else we want to talk about. This is our meeting, and the agenda is not concrete. We just have a couple of things we want to get through since we have everybody here. We're not projecting, although Courtney has this document. It may be a little bit difficult for people virtually, but Marguerite and Susan, if y'all have anything, just shout it out.
Will do.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you.
And I'll just note that the cat paws and cat stuff is for no purpose other than my own entertainment. So Courtney, if you want to skip forward to the meeting minutes.
Okay.
Awesome if you guys had time to look at this ahead of time. If not, please pull out September. Give it a look, let me know if there's any changes, and then somebody can move in motion and all that.
Here's September.
Sorry, with September. Yes.
Motion to approve those.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do I say something for just second?
I motion. I'll move the motion.
Okay.
Is that what? No.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Let me know when you guys are ready in December.
Ready. Okay, so September.
Yes.
Any changes? No. Any edits? Okay. All in favor of approving edits?
Aye.
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 November,
Motion. I second it. Any
Mark changes edits.
yes? I was there first, but it doesn't.
It does, for November.
No, this is the, oh, yes. Started virtual. Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's that I was driving.
Yeah.
On my motorcycle then, so I couldn't be on the.
I even saw that in my note, by the way, and I couldn't remember what I was writing, so I just went ahead.
Jack's bike.
Okay, so, subject to changing one attendance item, all in favor of approving the November minutes? Aye. Opposed? Courtney, I'll make that edit and send these to you.
Marguerite has also noted I as well.
Marguerite.
Courtney, can you hear me? I did too.
Okay, I'm sorry. Susan did. as
No,
well.
that's okay.
No,
I
my
didn't know if
apologies.
you could hear.
Okay. December, I'm gonna pull up December.
Any changes, edits, amendments? All in favor of approving? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Susan's been recorded, and Marguerite, we can give a thumbs up. Okay, thumbs up.
Done. Okay, next up is, the events and key dates for 2026. I put down stuff as best as I knew it. But we can, consider adding things or adjusting things here.
So just to confirm, all of the regular meetings will be in person, or are there any that will be virtual?
We can decide and make them virtual, ahead of time if we want, but yeah, the assumption is that they're all in person.
To know when football season is.
That's me thinking ahead and knowing that I may or may not, if there's a conflict, as well as this fall. Yeah, that's 2 meetings. Try to look up when the dates for the fair were, but at the time of making this, they weren't announced yet. Let's walk through it. So do I have that right? Did we announce WW? Did the announcement go out?
I'm gonna move the timeline back, starting on the 5th till tomorrow. The 5th was a little overzealous post Christmas.
Excellent.
I thought about it all week and I was like, I should really do something. So yes, WOB will be announced tomorrow.
So the nomination process will open tomorrow?
Yes,
What's tomorrow?
the 12th.
We have I know I was a part of a team last year, but specific eligibility, criteria that people use.
Yes. So if you go to, I'll send that. I'll send that.
We can also talk a little bit more about WB in more depth later, and that way we can catch up people who haven't participated before and not speaking in code.
Yeah.
So with that, there's some other dates on here that probably need to adjust, huh?
No. The only thing, yeah, I was just, what you have, yeah, the nomination period announcement being extended. Is the 6th or is the 5th a Friday? Okay, well, the 5th, whatever the Friday is. I might have put it wrong. Yeah, it's the 6th, but that's fine. We'll make the announcement. The period.
The announcement is gonna say it closes on the 6th.
It's gonna initially say it's gonna close on the 6th, but it's really gonna close on the 15th,
Okay.
just to do that fake
Okay.
kind of push. and if that's confusing, or if you haven't done this before, so we say, like, when we announce the nomination period opening tomorrow, we're gonna say nominations are open until February sixth, and then on February sixth, we're gonna say one more week. It's just a strategy to guide, kind of like, if you were thinking about it, and I really need to do it. And so that's what that means. And then the 20th is select winners. 27th is public notice of winners. And the awards are on the 20th. Yep, everything else is good.
Yay. So February 20th is the meeting where we have like a little committee to select the winners.
Typically that's done by a nomination committee that Marguerite will organize. And so if you're interested, and we can talk about this again more later too. If you're interested in serving on the nomination committee, it's not done by the whole commission. But so if you're interested in doing that, let Marguerite know, or let me know, and I'll tell Marguerite. But yeah, that's typically,
Marguerite has a question.
yes, go ahead.
Yes, Marguerite?
I was just going to say that I will send an email to each of you individually asking you if you would like to participate on the selection committee, and if so, what that would entail, and you can just reply to me directly.
And for, if you haven't done the nomination committee, typically when we get applications starting to come in, Courtney will send those out to the nomination committee, so you're not trying to review 20 at the same time. So you can get them as they come in, and then there'll usually be a meeting for the nomination committee to kind of go over all of these. I'll go over all of them, go over scores and whatnot.
Can you guys mute? We're getting a little bit of feedback. I think that might be.
It's probably me, and now I don't know how to mute now that you've got me up muted.
No worries. Let me see if I can figure it out. No worries. Let me
And then,
see.
calls them and lets them know, and just kind of hands them, does a warm handoff to me, and I set them up for their video recording. But it's, I'd say time commitment level between the reading them just depends on how long, or how many we get, but I'd say maybe probably less than 5 hours for reading it, maybe an hour or 2 hour, independent meeting with the nominations committee. And then if you decide to do the calling, maybe another hour of that. Would anyone disagree that start going nomination committees?
Yeah. We want to, I realize, I apologize. Didn't think this through, that maybe we should have talked more about some of these things in depth. More, to be general, yeah, just for everyone's knowledge and awareness. Well, let's get through these dates, and then maybe we'll do that first, so I think with our sense of that top priority project.
Oh, this, Fairfax County, has already announced their 270 breakfast.
Yeah.
Well, since I'm already talking, the Fairfax County, Commission on Staff's Breakfast is usually, I was only able to go 1 year, but it is usually a really, really fun, event to kind of wrap up, the, Women's History Month. So just if you guys are free that day, and if it's open, is it usually open to anybody?
So far, they reached out and asked us to me to present.
Yeah.
But I don't know about how they
I don't
keep
know.
an ear to the ground.
Yeah, I went, the first year I went, or the only year I've gone, I was sitting at a woman that founded on Eventbrite, and she was from Prince George's County, and she was just so happy to be there. It was such a beautiful event. So, yeah, she was just like,
Oh, right, and I didn't know you were going to be there.
Yeah.
You didn't knock, and you.
no, I had no
It
idea.
was a great event.
It was, yeah.
Okay, so the top of this, date thing is heavy on WOB for obvious reasons. I also tried to highlight around the times of our regular meetings, kind of what else is going on, so that we can keep in mind, regular recurring process stuff. So the Arlington County budget, and our commission's testimony and comments on the budget is also happening in the background of January, February, and March. With that, you know, our research and investigative research and policy and research group, does some review of the budget and looks to see program things that might be impacted that we would want to weigh in on and that kind of thing. Then we'll be invited to present our testimony in person to the board. So yeah, now through March is pretty much budget and WB. And then April is Central Summer Awareness Month. And I'll just add that on January 21st, I'm going to attend a Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month kickoff planning meeting with Project Peace and others. And it's Project Peace's 20th anniversary this year. So I'll attend that meeting to see what they're cooking for April and find ways that we can support and participate in those events. And let you guys know at our February 12th meeting. Okay. And then we have Sexual Assault Awareness Month, like I just said, regular meeting in April. Take Back the Night is always the last Thursday in April, and praise be, this year, the last Thursday in April is also the last day in April. I was so fortunate to have it late in the month like that, but it does give us more time to plan and organize for that event. Probably means that it's in like April 1st next year or something. And then we have our summer meetings, the May, June, July timeframe is really the only time we have kind of open for programming that's not already bogged down with the regular stuff that we do. I say that, and then we also have effort underway to prepare for our outreach at the county fair. That's, that preparation can happen by subcommittee and by individuals too, so it doesn't have to go off our meetings. So just keep that in mind if we are thinking about delving in or doing extra, those summer months are the best opportunity. Those summer months are also when people tend to miss more meetings because of commitments, vacations, and that kind of stuff. So, so we have the dates yet for the Arlington County Fair. And then our fall meetings are usually around our legislative priorities and regrouping after the fair. I think we want to shift gears, priorities and whatnot. So with these dates in mind, does anybody know now for sure that they will not be available for WOB, at least the event, Take Back the Night, the event, any regular meetings that are scheduled?
I will not be able to go to WOB the event, but happy to help. Classes are Wednesday nights now, which means I can go to all of the meetings, but the Wednesday nights, I have class on Wednesday nights now. I'm also turning 30 that day, so it's really, I'm the crushing. No one's being very sympathetic about it. My parents are like, haha, get over it. I'm like, yeah, well, how'd you feel?
I will not be at the meeting on the 12th in person, and I will attempt to be there virtually.
Courtney, would you mind lowering the screen a little? I never got the events and key dates.
This right here, like this?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, in the handout, I printed out everything, but I just wanted to look more closely. Thank you.
Is this okay? Let me know if you need me to readjust.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, and I don't, usually they do have the 2026 dates. The AI says it snows right beginning the 12th through 16th or 13th or 17th.
Okay.
But yeah, it usually is that 13th through the 17th week.
Margaret or Susan, are there any dates that you can see right now that will not be?
Not right now, except around February 7th, 8th, 9th, somewhere around then, my grandson's going to be born. I have no idea when I'll be called, so just FYI, but hopefully not on the 12th.
Okay, Marguerite, can you unmute if If not, I can try to do it.
I don't see any dates right now that I can't make, but I will do a double check with my calendar when the planning meeting's over and let you know right away.
Gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, I don't wish that on.
Oh, you?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll miss June 11th. Graduation,
Oh,
hopefully.
What's it?
no. Is it at Constitution Hall?
I think it'll be at HB.
Oh, yeah, they do different
They do.
special.
Oh, don't they go to like, do they wear like Hawaiian shirts and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, so fun.
doing something different.
This isn't a speak now or forever hold your peace kind of thing, but it does help us plan in advance. Especially with the in-person forum and that requirement, that we have. So, as soon as you know that you're not gonna make a meeting, or then letting us know is extra helpful. So we will add to this the county fair dates once we have them, TBD, as well when we get a sense of when, our budget testimony will be. We had outreach from the county about, it's going through my email, I haven't sent anything yet,
For priorities, just legislative,
in budget stuff and
not yet, but it will be coming up soon.
soon.
Yeah, probably like later this month. So, yeah.
We'll be on it. Okay, the next item on the so far very boring agenda is our organization structure. I
Okay.
kept everything more or less the same as last year. I think I added one or two of these bullets for clarity, but nothing major. And then in the packet that they don't have access to, but I indicated the 2025 and then looked at on each of these committees. So, to refresh everyone's memory, Communications Department was led by Janine and Ginger. The Policy and Research Department was led by Rachel, who was no longer with us. Not R&D, but just not on the committee. Lisa and Grace and Barbara. Were also on the committee. And then forms and special events. Barbara, Marguerite, Susan, Ginger, Janine was the WB community chair.
Actively seeking a co-chair, like long walks on the beach and venues that don't charge a lot and have alcohol licenses.
This is probably a good opportunity to talk realistically about what some of these things mean before anyone's trying to assign, reassign, or volunteer and commit. Janine and Ginger, do you guys want to talk about what it means to do communications?
I feel like Janine's actually done a lot.
Oh.
With the communications, the graphics, logos. I know I try to maintain the LinkedIn account and occasionally I go on Facebook to just make folks aware of what we are doing. Ideally, I would love to post our meetings on LinkedIn, even Facebook. And just do a lot more with our communication and getting our name out there.
And I will say that we would love, I think, to expand this, but right now the like hot times, are usually a lot of engagement around women of vision. So like pretty much like now into the event and a little bit like post events. we get generally to take that, or take like the night content and then content around the fair. I think what would be really helpful, and we've talked about this, but we just haven't, I think it just needs to be a standing agenda item, is to like take 10 minutes at the end of each meeting to just everybody like share, comment, post, do something on social media, if you are on social media, to, you know, what can we talk about in the next, you know, month between our meetings, that would get engagement, because I'm sure there's more information that we can share, and it's just a matter of remembering it.
Yeah, and I think I sent out an invite to all of you for LinkedIn, if you could accept that, or go ahead and connect with the Arlington County Commission on the Status of Women LinkedIn page, that would be great. But yeah, posting, I think on a monthly basis, recognizing different things, that would be great.
And creating the content too, right?
Yeah.
So are we looking to reassign folks on committees or keep them the same, like?
All the above.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So if your name's on here and you don't want to do anymore, awesome. If your name's on here and you want to do it again, awesome. If your name on here is no on here. Maybe it should. It should.
So what is like the time commitment for like each committee do? I think probably communications is a larger commitment, but like, is there a fleshed out time? Are we gonna meet on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis? Like, how do we foresee these going? Because it looks like for some of these, there's obviously going to be like certain hot times.
Mhm.
So is that how we're gonna like cadence it out?
I think that there's room for improvement on how it's done and maybe some more structure around it. I will say for Women of Vision,
Yeah.
being on the communications department, I just, when I remembered, did it. I don't know that that's a good strategy. I don't know that that's a strategy I'd recommend. I think Ginger and I talk more during those hot times. We usually just communicate by text, like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, or whatever. Or can you, blah, blah, blah. I will say that we were probably better in the first half of the year.
Yeah.
But I'd say annualized.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't think it's a lot of time commitment. What probably takes the most time is the content and the logos and the graphics, which I know you've done a lot of. Yeah, it's just a matter of monitoring, posting, making people aware, things that we all probably do on a regular basis anyway.
Just not with the lens.
Focus
Yeah.
on.
And then there's 3 accounts. We have the Instagram account, the Facebook account, and the LinkedIn account.
I was gonna say, I think the Facebook is linked automatically to Instagram.
It is linked. I don't know how.
Yeah, so.
Magic. There's probably a technical term, but, yeah, I think I think if someone spent an hour a month on it, plus like just engaging at the meetings, or, you know, if you guys, if nobody wants to do this, I'm happy to do it again. I think if we just put like a little bit more time around it, we could get a lot of return on investment, but we just are all busy.
Yeah,
Is that better?
it does, it does. So,
And I think that if somebody wanted to informally be on that department, that could just like, if you were really passionate about like creating stuff in Canva, that could be, I think, a strength for us, where we don't have like a brand. Like our stuff is just all over the place. And so if there was somebody that wanted to like create stuff in Canva that we could just go and grab, like that would be, or edit that, but it was like there was a brand behind it, that obviously would be probably a little bit more work, but if they didn't want to worry about like the posting stuff and just wanted to be more on the creative side, would be really helpful. And while I know that's a thing that we need, I don't know that I have the skill to produce it. If that makes sense.
we have a vision for like our brand, like.
Ask ChatGPT for a vision.
Okay.
Ask I just have it, and
I
I've
have
just been using mine.
Okay.
Same.
Cause I'm like, if we can like come up with what we want our vision to be or what we want our brand to be, there's so many different templates in Canva that you can get fonts, you can get graphics, like there's so many set templates, like even like color schemes, you know,
Yeah.
if we have an idea of what we are thinking, I think that's something that can easily be done.
Um,
And I guess I would say that we probably all have opinions.
Yeah. And I feel like it's also can turn into one of those too many cooks in the kitchen thing, because we, you know, come up with 3 and then everybody's like, oh, I want this or I want that. And then so you end up spending all this time going back to the drawing board. So I feel like if we could get workshop 3 and then bring it to a vote, and then if somebody doesn't like one, like, I feel like it has to be, okay, well, if you don't like it, you have to approve upon it. You can't just say, I don't like this. And find solutions for the problems you have with whatever it is. So I think like, I wouldn't mind taking on branding for us. Yeah, so if you can like send me, yeah.
fix it. But no, I use this, I did use it, for some color generation for,
Yeah.
the,
WOV.
yeah,
Mhm.
cause I was like, I can't with these colors anymore.
Right, cause I remember last year we talked about like different color things and then we were like,
Not very big, so.
right. And then we ended up using what we always end up using. So I think like if we can say we want a color scheme, like I guess I want us to get comfortable using ChatGPT because AI is singing, but I think like we can use it too.
Yeah,
It could be a good starting off point, a jumping point.
yeah, and I did use it to generate these images, it also gave me some help, with like, so I used the T1 magenta for the WOV stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I've created one thing, so it's not like it's not changeable.
Right.
But I was like, okay, like, what are some colors and what are some other colors? And, what are some fonts that are like, and so it gave me some of those things that I did incorporate into the only thing I made is the sponsorship deck. But, I think like something like that would really help Jinder and I, because I'm like, if I have it, it's so much easier for me to post.
Yeah,
But if I have to create it and then post it,
right. So if we get like templates
Yeah.
taken care of, we can just like drag and drop, and
yeah.
you know, mess with things.
There's a,
Oh, it's a bad going.
scratch.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, if we can set up the brand kit in Canva, it makes everything else way easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I have an abundance of times. I can take, I'm happy to work on a brand kit for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can send it to you and Jinder and Caroline in like a few weeks and see if we like it and, you know, get a first draft for y'all and see what we can do from there.
I don't know if this is the appropriate time to say this, but I would just make one small modification to what you presented. I love everything, but March is gonna be here sooner rather than later, and I really don't wanna wait until like, obviously you need time to do that. I don't wanna wait till February. I would rather just plow ahead with whatever you can come up with.
Okay.
And then after WOV, we can come to the drawing board and say, what did we like? What didn't we? We've seen a whole campaign, because we're really low stakes. It's not like if we roll out a bad campaign, there's
Millions.
there's five.
We lose millions of dollars.
We're very, I mean, I'm sure whatever you come up with is gonna be great, but we're very low stakes. So if no one feels absolutely, well, if you feel absolutely inspired to be doing this, then you should have stepped up like Sasha. And so if nobody has I would like to just give you carte blanche to just, I mean, obviously within an appropriate public facing group.
Right. You don't want it like, you know, stilettos pops in the club. So, you know, I don't wanna do that. Okay, cool. I can send
Leave
that.
the lips and
to
chains out
you.
for this one.
Right.
I think, yeah, and then, if it's helpful, if you want to send me your Canva thing, I can just send you what I created for the sponsorship deck,
Excellent.
and you can,
Go from there. Okay.
and I'm no pride and ownership on that either.
Okay.
I'm gonna post to that.
Who?
I'm just wielding power.
Girl.
Yeah.
I guess the question I have about our communications goals. I guess is the main intent of our social media presence and communications to drive, event attendees for like Women of Vision or Take Back the Night, or I guess, do we have a defined audience and goal with it? Because I can think of, posts we can do like, oh, meeting tonight, or here's this picture from our white elephant last month, or meet our commissioner kind of posts. But I'm not sure if that's in line with the.
So last year, when we had this meeting, we were planning to establish a communications plan, including strategy, what we're trying to get out of communications. And I'll say that for now, because we have not done that, and we have not gotten enough power behind our communications. And this isn't a cut at Janine or Ginger. We didn't provide them with plans and strategy that we promised. So the bare minimum that we've been getting by with is trying to drive attendance for these events and things, but you're spot on that. I think ideally what we want is to draw more attention to what we do and the issues and impacts in Arlington, right? So Women's History Month, Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and then other topics and issues throughout the year to raise awareness about that. But so far, it's just been fair, and I and that should be.
I will add on to that informally, just saying that for me, a million years ago, before I was commissioner and when I worked for the county, when both, and this is not slam to anybody counting then, it looked very gatekept or gate kept, and that it was only for a certain type of person in Arlington. And I think that over the years, we've helped just by getting the word out more. I feel like our diversity has grown to represent more what Arlington looks like. And so I just say, I don't know if everybody else agrees with this, but from a personal standpoint, that's really important to me, because it shouldn't just be, 3 white women that are consistently winning these nominations. And I'm not saying that that's how it's always been, but just the more we reach, the more nominations we get, the more our commission looks like what Arlington looks like, and then we can get to maybe the problems we think our problems aren't the problems, they're just the problems for me. Or and we can help achieve our charge by making Arlington a better place for women.
I completely agree. And I love that kind of as a mission statement or like vision for, what we want this communications team to be. So I will throw my hat in the ring here. I can try taking the lead on a communications plan and just, potential posts and content and just overall goals for it. I will say I am terrible at branding or logos or designs or anything like that.
Are you good with words? It sounds like you might be good with words.
Yeah, I can, write captions or, plan posts and I come up with ideas in that realm, but in terms of, like the art side of it. And also, I don't really do social media myself. I'm a lurker where I just look at other people. So when it comes to the actual like posting of things, I'm not sure how that would go. But
Are you a liker and a lurker, or just a lurker?
I mostly lurk, but if I will throw out some likes sometimes. I will definitely throw support on everything we post. But.
I mean, I wouldn't even say like a strategy. I think like just if you wanted to do a strategy, but if you wanted to just start off with like a toe dip in the water, even coming up with those things like you just on like doing profiles on commissioners, like even those ideas are helpful, because typically like I remember like I'm like, oh God, we haven't posted, and I'm in like a frenzy, like what am I gonna post? What I have to put an image with this, da 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 da. And so if I had something to be like, oh, we should do a profile, or like I put together 3 profiles for us, to share. We just need an image to go with it. Like, and I can ask Caroline for an image or whoever, is like, that's the level we're at.
Yeah, it's kind of developing the brand kit.
Yeah.
One of the templates you do is an Instagram post.
Exactly.
Like, being the commissioner.
Right.
Where we just put
Put a picture of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then also I was thinking that we're not the only, county with a commission on the status of women. So if we can do, research on our peers and see what they are posting, how they are posting, their consistency, who they're following, what their, engagement, what it looks like. I think that would be good market research to just kind of build our posting strategy around that, especially if we are thinking about pulling in a diversity of people. Not everybody's on LinkedIn, not everybody's on Instagram. Instagram's kind of like a dying platform. Facebook is popular amongst a certain demographic.
Yeah.
So if we can like branch out to, what is it, TikTok would be great. And if we can start like building a repertoire of like, video content, we could make it bite-sized, like post it on TikTok or, just like trying to think of how do we reach the people we are trying to reach and use social media to reach them in a smart way and like kind of cross-pollinate across different social media platforms.
Yeah, so it's allowed to have TikTok.
I don't think we do. We have a communications team that
Because I
handle
know
our
they
social
don't
media,
know
so.
the Fed, and you don't want to involve the Fed,
Yeah.
it's a huge no-no.
Right.
Allegedly.
Deals. I don't know yet. Honestly, I have no idea. I can't
don't
believe you
think
just
we
said
do.
Instagram's a dying platform. I'm like, what's happening? Oh my gosh. I gotta get up to speed.
Right,
I gotta get off Instagram.
It's like with a certain demographic, it's like dying, but also with like the platform itself.
With millennials.
This is fascinating. I would love to take a class from you at some point.
Right. I
Oh,
can talk about this stuff.
Okay.
But yeah,
You guys will figure.
it's getting there. I don't know, they've just changed the platform so much that like once we lost the ability to like chronologically like see posts and interact with posts, and it just became a free for all of whoever is advertising, it just kind of went away. And then there's a whole perfectionism thing, like TikTok is very real, Snapchat is very real, these platforms where you could just like show up authentically. That's kind of what people are leaning towards now. But I think if we use Instagram in a way, Instagram is very good for bite-sized information. And I think people really like that. They want to be informed. It's just the way we go about presenting what it is, our message, essentially, like who we're trying to reach and how we are trying to reach them. I think Instagram would be really good for that.
Yeah, so, no, I love that idea, and I could definitely, look into what other commissions are doing as well, but, besides like, drafting up a basic strategy, I can work with you on like what the posts like would look like brand wise, I can put it all together, and then maybe like at the beginning of each month, I can email Janine and Ginger and say like, hey, here's, 4 or 5 posts for this month, whatever works best, or here are my recommended dates, and then they can, since they already have access to all the accounts and everything, and they can go ahead and post it.
I'm loving this conversation. I have so many more ideas and I want to throw it in. Let me propose this. Let's do some communication talking at this meeting in like 30 minutes. We'll just, it's our agenda, we do what we want. But I'm liking the energy and the thoughts around this. I think now is a good time. Because we wanted to do this same conversation last year. Maybe the enthusiasm was there, in the same way.
I remember last year, and I'm trying to find it. Jackson and I did use ChatGPT to come up with like
We
a monthly.
basically did like.
Yeah, and we just-
Year.
And then we were like, la, la, la.
So there is some legwork.
Yeah, so I will find
We
that.
work on that.
I was showing to you. Pretty sure it's.
Probably does. And you and I was probably like, that's such a good idea. And then finally, like after a month was probably like, this is no longer where I am at in my life.
I mean, 1,000%, like the day of a meeting and after a meeting, and sometimes the morning after a meeting is when I have all this concentration around CSW within the next 3 weeks.
Life.
Yeah, and, I think taking advantage of our undivided attention and saying like this, we should use it in the ways that we're unable to use it, utilize it. Recognizing that we're all spent.
From our conversation last year, I feel like a lot of the conversation around like future posts and captions were like, what holidays or months can we highlight that we kind of have something to do with, which, like, I don't disagree with, like, we should definitely highlight those things. But I guess the thought I have in my head is how can we make this group more accessible to people feel comfortable approaching us at the county fair instead of being like, oh, I didn't know you guys existed too. Oh, I've been following you guys on social media. It's so great to meet in person. I want to come to a meeting, or I'm so excited for this event. And so just making it more, I guess, personal to like what you said, who we are, what we're doing, and how it personally impacts people of Arlington versus just like, I don't know. A blanket general post that many.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, happy to talk more if we need to.
I chime in? I'm also not a branding person, but I do love sort of like, when I'm thinking about like programming and things like that, like strategy is really helpful. I'm trying to figure out like, where do I fit in terms of like my interests, my skill sets, and also the need, and I keep thinking about like the outreach piece, which very much ties to the communication piece, and someone, I can't remember, earlier said, something about like how we as commissioners can help drive visibility and awareness about our events and like the work that we do. And so I think some guidance or some sort of I guess guidance on like how can the rest of the commissioners support would be really helpful in the strategy, and I'm happy to support in developing that strategy. But just wanted to point out there that I think there's a lot of leverage, right? And like, we all have our like networks. And it's really important that we tap into those as a commission so that we can like bring more people to the work.
Yeah, you may be interested in forums.
Oh, there's a hand up. Marguerite has her hand up. Are you able to unmute, Marguerite? You're muted. If not,
Okay, Adriana, I think that was you speaking.
yes, that was her speaking.
Okay, so that's the missing report from Barbara and I on outreach. And it sounds like you should join one of our sessions about what we should be doing and with whom. I will, when Barbara returns, I will make sure that we include you in a conversation to prepare for a report to the commission so we can talk about your ideas and how to move forward. I seem to recall there was some conversation you and Barbara had at the last meeting, though, about something you were already aware of, and you were talking about maybe getting involved in that, but I don't recall the specifics. I apologize for that. But so we should be in touch.
I think if I remember correctly, the last meeting we were talking about the conference that's coming up. Is that the conversation you're remembering?
Oh, maybe it is. Okay.
So are we still deciding who's leading this? Is it me and Ginger? We don't have to decide leadership. I just want to make sure people know what we're expecting out of each of these groups. And where people want to raise their hand and sign up. So that we can kind of plan our workload for the year and just make sure that. Established, if that makes sense.
Do you want to do it? We'll do it again with, yeah.
Well, I have Lisa down as leading the communications plan development and Sasha down as leading the brand kit development.
You the what?
Everything.
Oh, sweet, okay.
Just the brain kid.
Okay, got it, okay. I was writing.
While you're writing it down, put me under forums and special events department.
Oh, yeah, that's fine, that's good.
All right, Jim.
Wait, on the forums and special events department, am I supposed to be doing something when I'm just, powering through when revision and not coming up to breathe? Do I need to tell you guys anything?
It's just outreach to other commissions, other activities, doing the committee for Women of Vision and the Arlington County Fair. And then community calendar, I'm assuming in Arlington County to see if there's anything that we should show our face to.
So for this group,
Into the data.
anytime there's a major special event like WOV, we said that we would establish like a committee chair. That's you. That's you do you thing.
Marguerite's raised her hand. Sorry.
And I believe at the last meeting, Barbara said that she would be happy to co-chair the county fair outreach with Ginger in this coming year, as long as it doesn't turn out to be Ginger's take her daughter to college day.
Is that from Barbara?
Yeah, this is Marguerite saying that I recall at the meeting that Barbara gave that commitment.
Yeah, she would commit to it. Okay. And I'm happy to co-chair or whatever.
And there's a message in the chat to Marguerite. I still would like to be involved in outreach strategy meeting you have with Barbara and Adriana.
Got it. Thank you.
Susan, if you could, when you're typing, if you can mute, we're getting the feedback on that.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry.
No
Sorry.
worries, no worries, no worries. Oops.
Policy and Research Department again. And then, when the time comes, working with Marguerite on the Luna Vision Selection Committee, and then also taking it there, whenever there's shifts open up.
Not only did you email that document to me last year, I put it into a Google Drive document, like cleaned it up. Man, we did so much work when we were
Yeah.
feeling strong.
It's kind of just, so it's a content, but it's a content calendar essentially of which you can pretty much plug into the Canva AI, and it would design social media / marketing material for the platform. And everything is women related, surprisingly.
Oh, nice.
It's actually really great.
Did you just do it?
No, I did this.
No, you
Same
didn't.
day.
Like in the AI, I've never used the AI version.
I don't have an approach, and I'm feeling super loved down.
I
Think that.
tried to use the Canva AI for something that I just was like clueless. I just needed like a jumping off point of design, and it was.
That is like, so I was helping,
Sorry.
I was helping someone with their biggest brand design, a startup founder, and I literally typed into Canva AI, thin, straight, pointy line, and it gave me like a star, like, I was like, what is this? It's not what I think home. So yeah, it's not awesome, but I think it thrives in more of the complex topics. Like if you wrote American Heart Month, Women's Heart Health, icons. Pop out of
Yeah, show me your raccoon smoking a cigarette.
Maybe
I don't know if it's real or not, and I refuse to buy it because I cannot have to have my credit card hacked right now. But I got it in Instagram ad yesterday, so now you guys are all gonna get it too, except for Lisa, because she's not actively on it. No, but it was like sometimes you do take the edge off, and it was a fake packet of like box that looked like cigarettes, and it had in it two like fake looking cigarettes, and when you blew on them, they blew out.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, why am I getting this?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
That's gotta be on Amazon by now.
See, so we're taking the edge off.
So policy and research. And thank you, Grace and Lisa, for what you did last year to get us across the finish line with. You did all the work, in fact, on the legislative priorities.
We had, you did great at best. So just to clarify, going forward, the legislative letter is for state policy, correct? Okay. I was big, I was really confused about it, so I was like, I'm out, actually. We had written it for the county, and then at the last second, we're like, wait a second, I think we did this wrong.
So the sort of input for the county happens through the budget process. And then the county, I guess, the lobbies, but they have legislative priorities that they put together and work with the legislature on. That's all sort of counties related to that. So we feed into that process. Policy and Research Department to our meant to be there to handle any other research topics and things that we want to have a special interest in, focus on. And I'll say about forums and special events. Anytime we do anything, like a forum or special event, the expectation is that Andy and all of us will attend, support, and help with that. I think what we want to focus on for membership of this group is people who can help strategize about forums and special events, as well as also building resources and relationships with other commissions. So I think that's where we're falling a little bit.
Well, that's like me. The Arbora, Marguerite. Susan's on here too. So it's essentially everyone. Is on forums. Is there anyone who'd like to lead the forums and special events department? You can now for what your piece.
Were you asking, was there somebody offering to lead it?
Well, it says that Arbora is the director and you are the co-director along with Susan, Gender, and Janine. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of directors.
Oh, no, sorry. Margarita, the two.
Okay. Co-director is Susan. Oh, so no, Susan's not a co-director.
No.
Okay, okay.
I think
Yeah,
we're supporting.
Oh,
It's Arbora and I, and anybody that would like to join the conversations about what we do is certainly welcome. And of course, under that is tucked up all the special committees that have their own committee structure. For example, Janine running WOV, but we don't have to do anything from a forums and special events department for Janine unless she asks us. Because she's got it handled.
You say that so confidently than me. She's got it handled.
oh, it's like, oh, equals. Oh, okay. I was reading it as like title going on forward. Yeah, I would like to join forums and special events, particularly for the community calendar and outreach to other Women of Vision committees.
I'd like to stay on my policy.
If I may, Jax, just for clarity, I know it's a little bit confusing, but if there is a standalone committee tucked up under forums and special events that has its own chair, you should just make sure you talk to that chair rather than Arbor and I to get on that committee. So for example, County Fair, you would go to Arbor and Gender. You don't have to come through forums and special events. If you want to do something with WOV, you go through Janine. Forums and special events, that committee is really going to talk about, well, what else should we be doing? Is there a commission we should be engaging with? Is there, what else should we be doing in the community?
Yeah, I would prefer that.
Okay. I'll make sure I add you to the meeting we'll have and invite you and Susan and Adriana.
Okay, so I have notes of this. I will release them as part of the minutes as well to confirm it. The assignments and commitments at our next meeting. And I think at least for the first half of last year, I was including a small table at the bottom of our agendas to remind us who was leading which committee and whatnot. To the extent that we were asking for readouts on activities and ongoing meetings and ways to engage. So looking back at the agenda, the next one.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but before we jump off from this, I heard at another one of my commission meetings that there was a new legislative POC for the county, and he had actually shared feedback with commissions on what priorities were accepted in their letters and like gave feedback on if certain things were omitted. And the name that I had written down was Brian Estate, I think. Did we get anything like that? Feedback?
Okay. No, would you like me to follow up with him to request feedback or, but he is new, he's, new, yeah, so. I can,
What's his name again?
Brian Esty.
Esty. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
He had not reached out to me.
I'm sorry to interrupt. That was fine.
Okay, no. I mean, it would be nice to know what the county goes forward with. I've seen it before when we were doing our research, when I was maybe in county board meeting minutes, going through that through. I've seen it occasionally attached or referenced in the December meeting timeframe of county. But it's not something they ever sent back to us, which to me is a kind of easy feedback to keep us in the know. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. We will check. So the next item on the agenda was sexual violence in Arlington by me. However, I think we take a short break and then let's, if you guys want, should we do a little deeper dive into this communication stuff? Janine and Jax pulled up their genius work from this time last year. Why don't we put it up on a whiteboard and add to it, think through it? We always have markers.
No, like dry erase.
Yeah.
I specifically asked her.
Look at my bag. This, I don't know what it's called, but I call it the hustler.
Oh, I saw that and I'm very jealous because I've been influenced by those bags, but I'm like, I don't need it. I don't need it.
Well, I was laughing at myself, like, why did I pay so much money for a bag that's empty and I'm gonna spend a lot of money just to fill with stuff? But it is all right. The wheel, it's just. That's a sufficient bag. Ah.
What's the brand to that?
Hustler.
I know that Courtney is like, good show.
And then she folds flat.
Wow.
That's her name. Hustler.
Helga, that's what you call
So why don't we, break for a few minutes, get ourselves together and let's talk about content. We want to brainstorm. It'll give Sasha and, Lisa and everyone else involved in communication planning, stuff to work with. And I think it's more interesting than, me talking about, right? So, cool.
I love when you talk about it.
Let's take 10, take 5.
Okay, those online, just hang tight. I'm gonna resituate myself and then I'll be
Okay.
back on. You should be able to hear though. Okay.
Okay, good.
I think I'm gonna stop the recording and then start again.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna just step away for a minute, Courtney.
Okay, no worries. Ladies, thank you so much. I want to